So last week we got a brand new expansion pack called Businesses and Hobbies for The Sims 4 that I've been heavily obsessed with building a lot lately, that I wanted to try and build some businesses for my Sims 2 custom neighborhood called Rosewood. And today I am building a farmer's market. So I'm literally not joking, ever since we got the EP last week, I've been building like a mad person. Daycares, petting zoos, pottery studios, acting studios, dance studios. I've done it all, and you have seen only half of those builds. That I wanted to kind of take a break from Sims 4 a little bit for building, that I wanted to transition over to The Sims 2 and continue to work on my custom neighborhood. And if you're not familiar with this project, I started this like a couple of months ago, where I wanted to make my own custom neighborhood in The Sims 2, call it Rosewood, where everything is built by me, the townies, the houses, the terrain. Everything is done from scratch with my own two brain cells. And I honestly could have not done it alone. My Twitch chat helped me with all of this. And I feel like this is going to be a very fun project because I've done reviews of other neighborhoods from like Mod the Sims and Tumblr, that I wanted to try a challenge for myself to see what I could possibly do. And so far it's turned out really well. I've already decorated the entire neighborhood, at least thus far, especially the little farmers area. And today we're building a farmer's market where we're having like a plethora of things, like 2 gardening centers for orchids, plants, eggplant, zucchini, whatever it might be, along with a little grocery store and restaurant and some bathrooms and a little playground area. And I wanted to have like this neighborhood have different sections. One for like starter home friendly houses, people who are just moving into the city, like a city side, a suburban side, a more rural area side, and we're on the rural side of it all. And I decorated this area to feel like very farmy, very, agricultural type vibe, that it feels right. And I've always loved the idea of gardening in The Sims 2, that I've seen people make farmers markets where you have like a restaurant or some type of grocery store, but on the side of it is like a full-blown garden where your Sims can pick up, eggplants, tomatoes, cherries, whatever it might be, and then go about their day. That I wanted to try to do it in The Sims 4, but I wanted to do it in The Sims 2 because with the new businesses and hobbies, it adds in a plethora of options for business, but for hobbies, it only has tattooing and pottery. I was hoping that we would get more hobbies with that pack, but we didn't, so hopefully down the line we will at some point. But Sims 2 Open for Business and Sims 2 Free Time were my 2 ultimate favorite packs because Free Time added in so many things: ballet, ant collecting, or more so bug collecting. We had fixer-upper cars, we had train stations. It was just really, really fun, and I loved the Sims 2 Free Time. But Open for Business was like my jam, my bread and butter. We could open up a business with our own home. We could have whatever we wanted. It added in pottery with the Sims 2 Free Time and talent badges. Like there was so many unique things that I loved about the Sims 2 that I wanted to just do whatever I wanted, however I wanted, and hopefully make it work in the end. That I really wanted to like put my hand into the paint and try out pottery in The Sims 4, and then also try to do it in The Sims 2 to see the similarities but also the differences between the two. I know that Sims 2 is like so dang old. It's like 20 plus years old. Sims 4 is 10 years old. And 2 are not like the other, but they have their similarities. As we all know, Sims 4, Sims 2, to me they feel the same, but they have like their own set of brain cells, if that makes sense. Now for this farmer's market, I wanted to make sure your Sims had everything they possibly could do. Go to the restaurant, go to the grocery store, play in the playground, go to the bathroom, or even go to the garden center, pick out some cucumbers, tomatoes, apples, whatever it might be, and go about their day, or even just sit and about in the area. Because with Rosewood, there are different sections. You have your farmer area, you have your main hood area, you have a little city area, and you may have like a little suburban area as well, and like the rich part of the neighborhood too. That in this section, you have like your hair salon, you have your main grocery store, you have a little motel. You basically have everything what the city would have, but in a smaller setting, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of setting up the scene in each part, so that way I kind of know what I'm trying to do. And also, if I want to change something, I can. If I want to move the lot somewhere else that makes more sense, I can do that. But the farmers area will be for sure like the bread and butter of Rosewood. And I kind of want to add in like a Rosewood family member in the farmers area, but I'm not too sure where or how I'm going to do it, but I do want to try and do it at some point soon. So if you have any ideas for this neighborhood that I could probably add, whether it's a sim idea or a build idea or just story-wise idea, let me know in the comments below, because I really want to make this as collaborative as possible. I will also be streaming this on Twitch throughout my, year of 2025, so I can get your input in real time, especially because we started this together on Twitch and I want to end it on Twitch or on YouTube of some type. And I definitely will do some YouTube streams throughout April and May, because we have charity streams for Hope for Haiti and also for St. Jude, as we always do. And I just want to, bring you along with the process at the end of the day. I really wanted to have fun, and I've been noticing with The Sims 2, because it's so dang old, it's like 20 years old, that we don't really have a lot of objects to kind of provide me what I'm trying to do. And I don't want to use any custom content at all with any of these builds, because I want to make it as accessible as possible. However, I have used like one piece of CC within the main neighborhood. It was more so a like train tunnel, and that was basically it. But if I do use custom content, I will link it, but most of the time I probably will never use it. But just to let you all know, if I do, I'll link it. If I don't, it won't be in there. But I had a lot of fun just like dabbling into like new things with The Sims 2, because like Open for Business was like my main bread and butter. I always had like a toy store, or I had like a car dealership, because with The Sims 2 Free Time, what I really loved about that pack with Open for Business, you could fix up cars. You can decorate them however you want with the options that they give you, and then sell it for money. So I had my own fake like car dealership at some point, where I had like the in-game cars, and then I had the fixer-upper cars. And I kind of want to do that with this neighborhood at some point. I just don't know where I want to put it, because I want to call it Rosewood Car Dealership, but someone owns it. And I have an idea, but I want to make it work in the end. Because in The Sims 2, we have cars. You can drive cars however you want, wherever you want. It doesn't really cost any money to drive anywhere, but if it did, it'd be kind of cool. But we have like minivans, we have a little sloppy jalopy, we have like a little Ferrari looking car. Like there's a variety of vehicles you can do. We don't have bikes in The Sims 2, but we have cars. If you know, you know. But I wanted to make sure that there was like a plethora of things that your Sims could either own or go to, whether it's like a park. Movie theaters aren't really gonna be a thing, but I want to try and do an outdoor theater of some type. I'm just not sure how that's going to work, but I want to do something. But for the main farmers area, I definitely want to build some type of like barbershop, hair salon scenario, maybe even like another small diner of some type. There won't be an electronics store of any kind. I want to keep it very, not run down, but very simple as possible. So like salon, barbershop, this little park area, maybe another little small little park, maybe even like a dance studio of some type. I don't know. I have a few lots already placed that I'll show you at the end of this video when we do like the neighborhood view and then the real-time tour. But I have some lots placed down. I just got to figure out what each of them are going to be and like what the vibes are going to be like. I think I have at least 8 house lots down that I might convert into a community lot, because I can make a hotel, I can make a little secret hobby lot of some type. It's hard because I've never done this, so I kind of like that I'm taking you all through the process, like what I'm thinking at the moment, and just looking at this build. I'm kind of glad I did what I did, because I remember building this restaurant literally today. I'm recording this on a Monday night. You're seeing this on most likely a Thursday or a Friday, because I'm pre-recording videos since I'm not here, because I'm in Chicago. But looking at this build, it reminds me of a restaurant that I played in the Sims 2 Life Stories or Sims 2 Pet Stories. It's one of those two Sims 2 games that remind me of like the restaurant. But I do want to also replicate a little area of like a fake Four's Corners from Sims 2 Life Stories, and like have this weird old scenario of some type. I don't know. Ooh, I could even make a little lounge, a little club lounge, a little bar, a little speakeasy. Because now that I know how to build basements in The Sims 2 properly, thanks to Rebellica, I feel like I now have unlocked a brand new skill that I can just do whatever I want. And I've got some plans. Oh, I was gonna add in like an ice skating rink or a roller rink right here, like last minute, but then I decided that's way too big and I have way more ideas than an ice skating rink. So what I'll do is probably build a little bowling alley slash arcade slash roller rink area, maybe in the farm area, but there is like another little subsection that's kind of across the way. You have to cross the bridge to get to that one side. So I might put it over there because it makes more sense, but I'm not too sure just yet. But I do want to add in like all of the build and buy items. I want to add little apartments, townhouses, whatever it might be. I just want to add everything. And this build only took me about like an hour and a half to build, which I was very surprised because normally community lots take me way longer, but knowing The Sims 2 with the limited items that we have, it goes a lot quicker. Plus, I was not streaming this, and when I don't stream and I build something, it goes quicker. When I stream, it takes me like 10,000 years because I am a chatty Cathy and I love yapping my ears off or yapping yours ears off on stream for 3 hours a day. But I just found like this was like a very therapeutic build to start with the farming area, and I'm getting like my bare basics down. I have the first starter home already in the town. I have this little like farmers market area. I'm probably going to build some type of like cemetery because what I love about The Sims 2 is that you can decide where you want your graves to be. Because with The Sims 4 Life and Death, we have a now funeral, a funeral event that we can do, but we also have like a designated like cemetery crypt type of like scenario. So I want to kind of replicate that, but in The Sims 2 in some way, shape, or form. And I think it's going to work out well because knowing me, a lot of my Sims die from unexpected like situations that are usually not my fault. Either they die on their own, or they get abducted, or they just end up drowning. Not by my own hand, because I would never drown my own Sims without a ladder. That would be crazy. Never would be me. But I wanted to make sure I have like designated spots for cemeteries, parks, a little like shop area. I do want to build like a hotel, motel, like a rundown one, but that's like in the far mountainy area. So you won't see that for a while because I want to focus on one spot and then later on branch out to like another spot. So we'll probably focus more on the farmers area and get that little area all fixed and ready to go before moving on to like the suburban area or the mountain area. But you can all decide. I will put a poll in the community tab on which like area we should do next. The mountain side, the city side, or the suburban side. Because 4 different parts, but there's like a little funness with everything. There are no beach lots, but I want to eventually do another like neighborhood from scratch with using Sims City 4 at some point and do like an all summer world or an all winter world. And I have so many ideas, but so little time to do all of the build ideas that I want to do. But I can spread them out, take my time, and not rush through them. It may take me a whole year to finish this, but it's a whole year that I'm willing to take into consideration and then eventually do another one at some point. So this will take a long time to finish because I am a slow and I like to take my time, and I also want to make it as personalized as possible. But I will say though, I didn't want to overcrowd this like, farmers market, park little area because I knew with The Sims 2 routing is pretty advanced. They can get around things, but I also don't want to like overload the lot with too many things where it becomes more of a struggle rather than like a freezy, an easy flow of gameplay. But you can decide what you want to add or take away. But at the end of the day, I really wanted to make this area fun for me because I'm making this whole neighborhood for me to kind of reintroduce myself to The Sims 2 from like the very basic beginning and kind of take it from the ground up and eventually playing it at some point with my own Sims and my own backstories, because that's why I created my own legacy challenge for The Sims 2 called the Durban Legacy Challenge, a 10-gen legacy where each generation's like a different way of learning The Sims 2 again, which I will do a series here on YouTube so that way I can take you through all the process and I can see my crazy thought process of why I made this challenge, and also if I want to tweak anything, I can. But I will make a version of that challenge in The Sims 3 and eventually in The Sims 4 when I get around to doing it. But let's go ahead and go into the game so I can show you the general overview of the farmer area and also the farmer's market. So now that we're in the game, this is what the farmer's area will look like in Rosewood. As of right now, it might eventually change in the future, but right now I like the vibes of what it looks like. We have some farm fields, some barnyards, some silos, and even a windmill over here as well. But knowing our limitations in The Sims 2, I was working with what I had, but I like the vibe. And I mentioned in the speed build portion, I do have some housing plots already placed down. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 housing plots and a little farmer's diner right here that I might eventually move somewhere else in this area. But as of right now, this is what we're working with. I haven't decided if I wanted to add in more lots either on this side, or even adding one right next door to the farmer's diner, but I don't want to overcrowd it too much, especially knowing that this is actually a very small little farm community that will have their own community lots, access only to them, and maybe some other Sims down the line, like a little salon or another little park, or even like some type of like secret hobby lot as well. But for now, I might just leave it the way it is. But let's go ahead and like tour the farmer's market, because I did make a few modifications because I forgot to add in like the street lights, because I realized at night it is dark, like pitch black dark at night. So I added in a bunch of like street lights so you could see in the night sky. But this is what it looks like so far. I'm really proud on how it looks. I really wanted to focus a lot more on the gardener center since it is a farmer's market. I felt like your Sims would come here, pick up some produce, do some of their own gardening. If they have the gardening hobby enthusiasm, they'll have a better chance of making better produce choices like tomatoes, cucumbers, grapes, stuff like that. But we have two different sections over here. We have mostly all of the gardening plots on this side, so you have a lot of ways to do whatever you really want. Basically Stardew Valley, but in The Sims 2. I did add in a lot of the water sprinklers and a bunch of seating, so that way if you want to have your Sims sit in here while they do their gardening, you can do that. I even have some composting bins, one over here and one over here. I have some lights so that way it's not too dark in here. I did add in like 2 coffee bars on this side with some seating so that way you can like chill out here in the night sky, or just in the summer, fall, winter, or even spring season, depending on what time of day you are here. You can sit out here and drink your coffee and chit chat amongst your friends or by yourself. And then over here we have the orchid area. I'm pretty sure this one is a lemon tree, this is an orange tree, and this is an apple tree. And we also have some more garden plots over here to do some more growing the crops. We have some seating on this side and that side. We have some composting bins and also some ladybug lofts that I'm still not really sure what they actually do, but they look nice. And I've always heard that if you have some type of like creature that flies, it helps your produce, but that only works in like Stardew Valley and wildflowers. If you have bees, they help your plants grow a lot better, but we don't have bees in The Sims 2. We have ladybugs. There's a mod for one, but I'm not adding in mods into this neighborhood, at least not yet. Probably down the line when it's fully released for myself. But in the main area, we have a little dance mat over here, a little grill, and some more seating. We have a public phone, another trash bin, and then of course on the same side, a phone and another trash bin and some more seating. I did add in like this like performing arts podium that I never really used, but I thought it would be a nice touch to add it to a community lot, because that's what I usually tend to see when I'm playing around in The Sims 2. I see like a podium or the My Shuno game. It's usually one of those two objects. So I decided to add in the performing arts podium object. But then our first little community build that we have is the main grocery store. And I feel like with the little gardening center, all of that produce was transferred over to the grocery store. So essentially a farmer's market grocery store. It's all fresh, all good. We have the main produce bins, we have vegetables, we have some Gaze Easy Stow and Show produce bin. We got some potatoes, we got some tomatoes, we got some lemons, some pears, we got all the things. And then of course we have the freezers over here so you can grab some orange juice, some eggs that are not $8 because eggs are expensive. So in The Sims 2, I ain't charging you an arm and a leg. I ain't doing that to your Sims. Unless you're like a rich sim, then you can pay those $8, $9 eggs. But if you ain't rich, you can get the good quality eggs for like $2, okay? You're welcome. But we do have like some freezer bins so that way you can grab all of your produce, your ice cream, your eggs, whatever you really need. And then of course we do have the freezer bins right over here. I only added in 2 because I felt like this is a very small little square that you don't really need a lot of things, but I wanted to make sure I added in all of the grocery type objects in one build. So you have all that you really need. And then over here, this is where you check out with your register. You can even buy some video games if you want to at the grocery store. Because normally when I ever shop at a grocery store, they have like some type of display case, display bin by the register saying, hey, since you're here, would you like to buy a magazine, a piece of gum, some hot mints, whatever you really want, we've got it just for you. Implying saying, hey, spend more money so you can spend more money. So we have this over here by the counter. And then over here, we have the little park area. So that way, if any kids or anybody else who wants to come by, they can go to the swings, the little merry-go-round, the monkey bars, or the slide. And then we do have some chessboards over here. And something that I love about The Sims 2 is that we have a lemonade stand that kids and teens, and I think adults can also utilize, but I mainly use them for kids because I like having my children basically charge people out the wazoo for 1 glass of spiky, cheapy, tart lemonade, because normally it's like 36 simoleons if you like put the bar as high as possible. It ain't that good. It's nasty. But I added in 2 lemonade stands, so if you wanted to have the kids come by, they can go and sell their lemonade here during the summer season or spring or fall or even winter. If you want to do something funny or random, you have that option. And then over here, we have the main restaurant. And since we have the gardening center on the other side, everything is fresh, cooked to order. Besides fish, we usually get that, imported from somewhere else in Rosewood. But mainly it's all fruits and veggies that are all homegrown. But I wanted to make sure that this little place had everything you needed, a lot of seating, a lot of good ambiance. So we have a little like nectar rack on the wall. We have some music somewhere, actually on this wall, the hostess station, a little fish tank for some ambiance, not to pluck from the water and cooked, made to order. We're not that kind of restaurant. Unless you are, you can do whatever you want. But this restaurant does not pluck fish from here because that's just nasty. And also too, we ain't made for that life just yet. But I wanted to make sure you had like a little fish tank and a lot of like bar seating and also booth seating as well. We do have 2 chef stations. So if you want to have 1 or 2, you have that option. And normally by default, if you have more than 1 chef station, 2 chefs will be spawned on the lot and everything will be perfectly functional the way it usually runs. So you will have no issues when coming here if you own it or not. And then the last and final thing we have is the main bathroom. Now, I struggled with this one because at first it was a general square. And I'm like, cool, a square with a bump out on the side. I can make it work. I was listening to a vlog by Alicia Marie when building this. So my brain was like Delulu. I was not paying attention when building and I had my dog, Randy Joe, in my lap. So it was a little bit confusing, but I feel like I made it work in the end. And normally whenever I build a community lot, I want to make sure there's like a bathroom of some type. But with this, since it is like a park, gardening center, community park, everything basically in one, I wanted to squeeze in like a little seating area that felt very cozy and like country vibe. So I went ahead and added in like a little vanity table, some relaxer chairs, a nice little rug, and also a little table with a rooster chicken on the table as decor. I don't know what the vibes are, but I wanted to utilize something in the catalogs and make it work. So we have one area over here for seating and then another area for seating as well. I could probably add in a bookcase in here, but I felt like a bathroom and reading, it just feels kind of weird, so I didn't add it in. But we do have the main bathroom. It's all gender neutral, so any sim can come in here and utilize the potty squatties and get out. We do have the bathroom stalls, which they do come in different swatches and I could probably change them. which I just might before I upload it for you all to download. And if you don't know how to download lots for The Sims 2, especially if you have The Sims 2 Legacy Edition, I will link down below my video that I made a couple of weeks ago to show you how to install houses and Sims in The Sims 2 the proper and clean and right way. But for now, I just have all these stalls for your Sims to go potty and poop if they need to. And then I also added in a little like heating situation, so that way if it gets too cold, you have somewhere to kind of get heated up. We have some towels and also a little CD tower, which probably made no sense, but Sims 2 is limited with objects and I just added it in for a sense of decor purposes. So before I wrap up this video, I did want to mention to you all where I was thinking of putting like the roller rink, ice skating rink, and I think I might put it over here in this section because technically it's still a part of the farmer's area, but just across the way via a bridge. So it just made sense to put it over here instead of like somewhere else. So this might be a farmer's area. It might be a small little town area. I'm just not sure just yet. But if you have ideas for builds or Sims or stories, let me know in the comments below. But as always, I do hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below of what do you thought of my farmer's market and just like the general town vibes of the farmer's area, because I really would love to know what your thoughts are. But as always, I hope you all enjoyed it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye!